welcome to the Young Indian Professionals of New England talk show series for the professionals, where we highlight highly accomplished individual success stories and how our viewers get inspired and motivated to excel in their own professional journeys. Today, we are so honored to have Mr. Raj Tekchandani, who is the founder and managing principal of Smart Capital, a private equity real estate investment firm. Thank you so much for being part of the show, Raj, today.
Thank you so much for having me, Niharika. Great job you're doing here.
Thank you so much. So, could you please share your professional success story and let our young professionals know how you got to where you are today?
Well, I wouldn't call it a professional success story because success is a journey, right? It's not a destination. So you keep enjoying what you do every day, and that itself is an enjoyable and call it success or whatever. But yeah, so my journey has been, well, like I said, it's about my journey split into two halves, right? My professional journey, I'll say, right? I graduated, from undergrad in computer science, and I started off working for large, firms like IBM, and so wanted to be build like the next best technology out there.
Oh,
Uh, and I, after working for IBM and other consulting companies, I started, getting into the startup world, which was very exciting to me. And we were helping companies do their startups, and through this consulting company that I worked for. And I realized, why not do our own? So it's been many, many years, and I got into this whole dot com. I don't know if you remember. I don't know, you probably were not even born then, but or just born. There was this whole dot com era that everybody was building startups around either e-commerce or just online services, and there was a big boom on that, and I got into that, and it did that. We had partial success. There was a dot com bust after that. A lot of people made good exits and all that, but we somehow survived and had a fairly decent exit. And after that, I continued to stay with the whole technology world, and took on more corporate jobs, and somehow I didn't enjoy that whole corporate gig. So I was
I
in
totally understand.
my heart of hearts, I was an entrepreneur, and I always wanted to go back into that entrepreneurship world. So I left that, and go back on my entrepreneur track. Was now helping other technology companies, startups, to do product management or marketing services and so on and so forth. So did that for a number of years, and then gradually grew up in my ranks of whatever the management ranks or corporate ladder, as you call it,
Yeah.
and reached at a level that I said, what, this is tiring, and I need to do something different or whatever. By this time, I was very involved in data analytics, and technology was still at my roots. So I also had, for whatever reason, started investing in real estate as
Oh,
a hobby, along with doing a job. So I used to work in the daytime, and in the nights, I had purchased a few condominiums in Florida. I used to take care of them, or at least remotely. But that got me really excited about this whole real world of real estate. And long story short, here I am now, full-time real estate investor. Started off, with the whole data analytics bent to real estate, thinking, okay, how do we use data analytics to leverage real estates and investment buying decisions? And that's how I switched my path. So, like I said, there were two halves of my life. One was purely a technologist, and
yeah.
second half, which is still continuing, and I as being a real estate investor. But like I said, it's, call it successful or not, but I've enjoyed the journey and every bit of it. Whatever was not enjoyable, there is lessons to be learned from there,
Yeah.
and you move forward, and you keep yourself engaged and active every day, and that's how you know lead life.
No, that's amazing. I know data analytics is like now the future of like everything today. So
Yeah.
it's definitely a very high rising field in times like today as well. So that's an amazing story. So what got you motivated to be in real estate?
So yeah, I mean, like I said, I started real estate as a hobby, right? It was just, and then this whole idea of how to use data in real estate got me more and more excited, and I actually left my job to thinking that I'll start up another firm in sort of real estate technology, and that's how I started. And I talked to people at MIT and other people who've done PhD in AI and had also done some leveraging AI into real estate.
Mm.
I got very excited about that future of real estate, and that's how I made the transition. But eventually, I started using those softwares for investment purposes rather than going and building it out.
Mhm.
I became a consumer of data analytics software that was already out there.
Yeah, that's amazing. AI is the future for today. I know a lot of my friends use ChatGPT in like their homework or like their work. So AI is definitely the future of today as well. So, and many may or may not know, you are currently on the Forbes Real Estate Council. So, what motivated you to be part of that?
Yeah, so like I said, my journey was very unique in terms of coming from a background in computer science and technology and making a switch to real estate. And I had a lot of learnings there. The technology in real estate, the whole field is called the prop tech, um, sort of a property technology. And I started, delving more into that, reading more about it, and then I wanted to share with other people what I had learned from my friends at MIT and whatnot. So just to share that information and my experience, coming from a technology background into real estate investments now, I want to share that experience with a more broader public, and that's why at some point the Forbes had reached out to me. Hey, can you write some articles on that?
Oh, wow,
And I
that's
did write an
amazing.
article for few articles for Forbes magazine, and the rest is all history. I continue to do that. I still like doing that once in a while, but more busy with my day-to-day work now.
I think that's every young professional's dream to be part of Forbes. So, that's amazing. Congratulations for that.
Thank you. Thank you.
So what are the key skills do you think you should have when you're planning on starting your own business?
Um, I think there's many skills that you need. I think you obviously need to be a learner. You need to learn. You need to be very motivated. And these probably may sound as cliches, but I think you have to be persistent because entrepreneurship journey or starting something on your own is a tough road. I mean, there's days that you're very lonely. There are days when you don't get a paycheck and all those things happen, but you have to be either believing in what you're trying to do, or if you have any obstacle or try to fight it, or if you think you're going in the wrong direction, then you change direction very quickly. uh,
True.
so you have to be adaptable, you have to be persistent, you have to stay motivated, and there is no substitute for hard work. I mean, there is no shortcuts. So
I
that,
do agree with that. I know I saw this firsthand, and my parents were both engineer majors, and now they're into real estate as well. So I definitely understand that you can definitely change your track in any time of your life.
absolutely.
So it's definitely a calculated risk, but it's going to be a risk that's paid off in the end of the day as well.
Yeah,
Yep,
sure.
that's very commendable of you. So I know you mentioned AI in the past. So what do you envision as the future of real estate investment industry?
I think real estate investments have been data driven for a while, and it's going to more and more of that will be data driven. And AI is just a tool or a source to get it more data, analyze it quickly and learn from the data and respond in a very fast way. And then that's more and more that use cases will come up. I mean, there is so much data being collected on how investments have worked in the past, what has not worked in the past, and if you're buying a property in a certain zip code, what has the past been, what has the future been. You can look at when we do some buying purchase, we look at a lot of trends like such as the crime rate,
Yeah,
school districts, the weather in that place, how all those things have impacted in the property values in the past, and how can they be impacted in the future. So all that, AI could leverage some of that learnings from the data collected in the past, and you can use some of that projecting 5 years forward. That hey, if you buy a certain commercial asset in a certain zip code, what kind of expenses can you be looking at going forward based on the data that's been in the systems. So yeah, there's a lot of value of learnings from the past and quickly deriving analytics out of that, and AI could help you a lot in that.
that, that's a very good answer. I can imagine that to be the future of real estate as well. So I'm very excited to see that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. There is a symposium called CRE Tech. So it's called CRE Tech, and all it's just a showcase for a lot of companies that are coming up in the whole technology space. And the amount of, if anybody's, any of the young professionals interested, just look at cretech.org, I think it is, and the number of AI based companies that are coming up in the commercial real estate you know.
No, that's amazing. So, in all of your time of being in the corporate world and your startup world, what has been the most memorable moment in your career so far and why?
Haha. I don't know if there's been one, but I think most memorable moment was when I think I had this eureka moment one time when I was, working for my startup, and then I was also looking at the cash flow coming out of the my real estate passive investments,
Mhm.
and I was like, wow, this is interesting. There is a whole different field where you can generate income for yourself without being, much involved and this is the whole introduction to real estate and the benefits of real estate. So that eureka moment that, not everything in the world is technology. There is other ways to do things that you like.
Mhm.
That was my big aha moment that, I don't have to be a technologist for my life. I can be
Yeah.
a technology based real estate investor. And it took me a lot of learning to do that. But to make that transition, it wasn't like a moment, but it was a phase. But when that phase was probably the most memorable one when I made the transition. And a story for the young professional that, work hard at something, but if you want to achieve something else, that can also be done.
No, that's really inspiring even for me as well too. So thank you for that story. I'm pretty sure everyone will get the eureka moment sometime. I hope I get that sometime soon. But no, that's definitely amazing and impressive. So not this is not a work related question, but I know that you are a very active volunteer for a nonprofit, Pratham. Could you please educate our young Indian professionals about that and what is your role in it?
So yeah, Pratham is an organization that helps children, underprivileged children in India with education. And we got involved with this organization because we are here today where we're sitting today because of the education we got.
Mm-hmm.
I went to IIT in India, and I was fortunate enough to get admission there, and my parents were fortunate enough to support me through that. But to repeat again, I mean, we are where we are today because of the education background that we have.
Very true.
And there's so many people out there in India who don't have the same privilege.
True.
Now, at this time in life where we have accomplished a lot, and it's just feels time. It's the right time to give back and get involved and do it in a way that you can contribute to upbringing of these kids in India, get them education, and see. Would love to see them where you are today, and and it's a long journey, but I mean it's a start, and a lot of people are involved in it. So my role is I am a board member of the Boston chapter, and I'm also the vice president of the chapter here, and be engaged in fundraising for these cause and other gatherings that we do for this cause. Yeah.
No, that's very impressive. I think like kids here today, we take educated for granted, but people in India who are in like remote villages,
Mhm.
they they are craving for that education. And
Absolutely.
for me, like that's so hard, and that's why I gave back in high school as well to the kids that needed education because I feel bad that they're not able to get the
Right.
resources they need. But in America, we take that for granted. Sometimes we like complain about going to school every day, but we fail to recognize that
It's a
it's actually something that it's a privilege, yes.
And when you see that the efforts that you're putting in, and you see these kids getting educated, either learning English or learning math or whatever it is, learning the basic sciences, and how they're so eager to learn and apply that. And some of them who grow up and they're able to find jobs which otherwise they wouldn't have never been able to be of um, leading a professional life. And to see that journey of these kids growing into young adults and coming back to the workforce is amazing to see. uh,
Yeah, no, that's amazing. And on that note, I know many young professionals are currently looking for a job. So what advice would you give them to successfully get their dream job?
it'll be I would love to meet the person who knows exactly what the dream job is. And the dream jobs, and there are very hard dream jobs, but I think what you can say is a job that you love or job you can enjoy every day, like that's my dream. I mean, if you can find a job that you love and don't regret getting up Monday morning and going for work, that is your dream job. And I think there's ways to do it. It doesn't come in easy, but if you keep trying and making sure what your passion is, understanding what you love to do, and then meeting with the right people who can be helpful. So networking, going to events, and being learning in this field that you love to work in professionally throughout your career, whether it's engineering or whether it's some kind of art or liberal arts, even passion of photography. If you want to be a professional photographer, or you want to be a professional chef, just keep involved yourself, keep growing yourself in that field, and meet and surround yourself people who are as passionate about the same field that you want to be in, and eventually your dream job will come to you.
That's really good advice. I feel like for me, like I want to network with people that are from the healthcare industry. So that's why I joined HBA, and I'm getting so empowered by it. And I didn't even know that those aspects of the healthcare that I didn't even know about. So I do agree with that you have to network with people that are very like-minded and people that are in the same industry as you as well. So throughout your whole journey of you being a in corporate and now you're starting a business, who inspired you the most and why?
um I don't have one single person that is, I mean, obviously, you had support from your parents, your spouse, your kids, everybody has supported you, but I get very inspired by people who are perpetual learners, people who are always willing to learn regardless of their age. I mean, I look at my dad, he's always trying to learn about new things and
Yeah.
to do this, and little kids who want to learn more. So that's just it's very inspiring to me. So learning for me, or learners for me, are always inspiring, and that's my thing.
That's
I I'm a
amazing.
perpetual student myself. There is no
Yeah,
end.
sure. Every day you should learn something. So that's what I like to live my life. I always like to learn something new. And
Yeah,
if I don't learn something new, then I want to learn something new for each day.
for
So
sure.
that's definitely a very good advice for the young professionals. So lastly, I want to leave this interview asking you, what advice would you like to give to the young Indian professionals of New England?
Um, I was hoping I what advice that I can get from the young professionals, because you guys are the ones running this whole world these days. But I don't know. I mean, it's New England is a beautiful place to be. I mean, we are fortunate to be living in this part of the world. So feel blessed that you are in New England, or at least US, or you could be any part of the world that there is a lot going on. So be thankful, and be blessed. Consider yourself blessed to be living here. And then again, I said, this is a land of opportunities, and there should be you should always be seeking something out, and never stop learning, never stop engaging with others. Always keep your mind intellectually challenged, and I'm sure the right opportunity will come to you, because you're living in the land of opportunities versus
That's
living in a
very
place that
wise advice.
survival is a day-to-day thing. We're living in a very fortunate place and time in the world.
True. No, that's some very good advice. And I learned so much about your journey, and that this is making me want to start my own business as well. Not just from YIP, but for healthcare as well. So thank you so much for inspiring me and also inspiring the people that want to start up a business or want to be in the realistic technology world in the young and professional of New England. So thank you so much for being part of the show today.
Absolutely. And good luck to everybody who's listening to the show. The opportunities are limitless, and you are the one who's going to grab it on. So go for it.
Thank you so much. Have a great day today.
You too, Niharika. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye.